Hi, I'm James, and I'm addicted to powder. Yeah, baby!
2024 was regarded as one of the most miserable winters to bless Whistler Blackcomb in recent memory. You may recall the complete and utter lack of snowfall for most of the season. It truly was a sight to behold, and everyone took to social media to share the beautiful sights and the sounds of the ski resort. However, there is one common interest that unites the people of Whistler, the Sea to Sky, and Vancouver. And I'm not talking about powder. They love to complain. No! But while others were busy complaining, I was making the most of the snow we did have, and to be honest, it was pretty damn good. Storms seemed to consistently land on weekends, and the backcountry always provided some extra post-storm pow terms to keep me satisfied until the next delicious dumping. I was just about to head out skiing this weekend, but the October storm melted just as fast as it accumulated, so it's left me dreaming about skiing powder instead of actually skiing it. So instead of skiing pow, let's kill the craving by remembering and ranking some of the deepest Whistler Blackcomb days of 2024. Alrighty, let's just jump right into things here. In the number 11 spot, we've got the first technical powder day of the season last year. This was kind of a dust over crust kind of day, but it was the first real snowfall over top of a non-existent base. So some real sketchy skiing was going on this early December day, but we were just getting after it and loving it. Had some sweet laps kind of down Garbanzo and Red Chair, but the real fun that we found was on the Harmony side. The Harmony chair is closed, so there's no AV control out there, so kind of ski at your own risk type of stuff. Best to carry gear, and we had some wicked turns in kind of the Harmony area on all the rolls, and the snow was just stacked up. Of course, there's lots of sharks underneath, so you really need to kind of know the area well, but it was a great day all things considered, and Rob's homemade salsa verde was all right as well.
Confident.
He cares about to open for the first time this year. Yeah, baby! And it's gonna be epic.
It's pretty exciting when Peak Chair is finally open and AV controlled, and it's a crazy race down Shell Slope to try and be the first down. This was kind of an iconic moment for me because I hate waiting in lines, and I've never actually skied Shell Slope first. So there I am behind One Cut Media there, and I sneak in and I'm the third down Shell Slope, so that's pretty darn good. I get a fresh track down, and super memorable for me considering up to this point I had never been down Shell Slope first, because I'm the most impatient guy ever. So this is super fun, super memorable. I feel stoked just watching that. And then I went for round two. So this was actually even more memorable, the most chaotic Shell Slope run I've ever seen. So run two, a lot of other people stacking up in Whistler Bowl, and it was just kind of dodgeball coming through there. Absolutely hilarious anarchy. I found another little line to the left. You just look for wherever people haven't made tracks and you just ski there, and had another wicked line. So right off the bat, number 10 turned out to be a really, really wicked early season day. Even though it's dangerous and there's sharks hiding underneath, you can really still have sick early season days at Whistler Blackcomb if you pick your lines correctly. And the boys just started really kind of playing around in every possible area we thought we could find like a good wind load, and yeah, we were risking our ACLs for sure early in the season, but it was fun. And of course, like any great day on the Whistler side, we finished with a lap of Flute Bowl before calling it quits. Next, we've got number 9. People were truly desperate for snow last season, and the next decent storm came during Christmas break, landing on one of the busiest days of the year, Boxing Day. The parking lot wasn't even full, so I was pretty shocked to see a line stretching all the way back to the Sea to Sky Highway, but gave me a good classic laugh. Rob and I got on the mountain after a little bit of a delay, and it was gangbusters out there. Blue sky, deep, kind of thick pow, but It was absolutely epic. So this was our first run of the day, kind of down rabbit tracks, back down towards the Harmony chair. The Harmony chair pretty much had a line from the start of the morning, but then we managed to kind of get in the back of the line and wound up getting first tracks right underneath the Harmony chair. So on a POW day, people will usually rush to Harmony Ridge. So every once in a while, like Harmony Ridge is sometimes the better call, but it's a pretty good time to just run fall line of the chairlift. It's cruisy. It's not like too steep. You're not getting a ton of face shots, but it's just a really nice lap. That was a really memorable lap for me, just kind of arcing some turns into Harmony there. And then we got down into kind of Wet Dreams-ish area, whatever this is called, at the bottom, and did a couple bumps. Rob and I couldn't help ourselves. The third run of the day, we only did 3 runs, was Flute Bowl, and this was perfect snow in Flute. You know, you can't really beat a day like this in Flute. And that was the end of the day. 3 runs in an entire day. It happens at Whistler. And the thing is, they were great runs, so we skied more vert than we would have in the backcountry. Yeah, it was a classic clog at Whistler, but as per usual, the snow really made up for it and made it a boxing day to remember. And my favorite part of the day was Rob getting hit by the chairlift. I'm still laughing about that. Jerry.
Fatality.
Number 8, we've got New Year's Eve. This was a sleeper of a day. They had just opened the Glacier Chair, and I believe 7th for the first time of the season. So everything was stacked up quite nicely. We did a sick line right down Horseman. Sometimes I can't help myself. Rest in peace, the old T-bar. We used to get so much flow back there that we still don't, but always a good line, good short line down Horseman. The snow was as good as it gets, just cold, dry, and fun. We flew right into Spanky's. It was a little blown out with Avi debris, but man, we got pretty much first tracks for what was there in Spanky's, and it was an absolute blast. Like, the snow was just cold, and it was just blowing over our head. I did a lap through Pipeline. This is the best conditions I've seen Pipeline probably in my entire life, and I think that's just because not many people had skied it yet in the season, so that bottom part there usually is not that good. It gets pretty sharky, so I was pretty stoked to actually get to ski it properly. And then here we are, kind of ripping down Secret Bowl. Nice lap. There's so many little lines in the Secret Bowl area that you can rip, and it's got that high elevation, cold, and fun snow. So this day was just good choice after good choice. Looks like we're back in kind of Spanky's again, just tearing it up. I remember this line actually because I fly off a little rock here that I didn't know was even coming, and I'm lucky that was all good. Killer day, and easily number 8 on the list. I-35 with the top down. Number 7. So in 7th here, we've got a sweet spring POW day. So this day kind of landed right after I got back from a lot of the ski trips I was on this season. So was stoked to come home and just have a classic day. Spring is a lot quieter on the mountain, a lot less people skiing. The vacationers are kind of all done for the season, and you can start skiing bigger lines because everything's filled in. You don't have to worry about, sharks and other stuff hiding underneath. So we skied some fun big lines this day. This looks like exhilaration. We're coming down here quite chalky up top, but the real magic of this POW day for me was finally, for the first time the whole season, I was able to ski top to bottom trees down to Creekside. And you guys all know, well, pretty much all the way down to Creekside. Not all the way, but you know how much I love tree skiing and POW, especially like on a kind of untouched day like this. Everywhere I turned was fresh, and we were pretty much the first crew in there. So we got first picking at all the tree turns, and it's just an incredible feeling to have like such a backcountry-esque line just on the resort in the tree. It's just a hell of a lot of fun. But then of course we got down to the bottom and we noticed, oh shucks, there's really not that much snow, but great day overall. Cheers. I-35 with the top down. Number 6, we've got another spring POW day. I skied this one on the Whistler side. It was a little later, April 22nd, so later than the previous one. And this was such a fun day. It was more of like a dust over crust kind of day down low. But from what I remember, up in the Alpine was just perfect. So kind of everything near mid-emerald would kind of ice up beneath, but everything high was just skiing like an absolute dream. So here you can see us ripping down Harmony. We got down Harmony pretty early, and we're able to ski low roll fresh, which was awesome. Kind of skirting past some Avi debris there, coming into the gun barrels, just enjoying some kind of deeper turns. You can see the snow starting to soften up because of the sun, but still light enough. Here are the boys just enjoying a little team cruise here, getting the legs primed for something more aggressive. And then we couldn't help ourselves. It hadn't been on all year, so we had to head into the couloir because it looked good to go. And this is such a fun, aggressive line off the peak chair. So if you're really trying to push your kind of steep, scary skiing, that's a great spot to go and push yourself when the conditions allow. And it was perfect in there. Coming out of the couloir too, you just got this dry snow, and not a lot of people ski those first 2 or 3 turns out of there unless they ski the line itself. We did a couple out of the Whistler goofy classics like Harmony straight line there with a couple good turns in the shade, and this was just like such a fun day with the guys in the spring, and we just kept going. Like boom, another kind of fun line, and just ready for a face shot. Bingo, there it is. You know, sometimes you just got to give yourself a little shower. Not like, why not? Not a big deal. Having a beer. Bingo, good day. Next up, number 5. We've got a day that had over 100 centimeters on the forecast, I believe over 4 days.
Where are you?
This was a really fun day and super deep. There's Matt there. He had fallen into a hole on our first lap, which was pretty hilarious. He was all good.
I'm good. Just a double eject hole.
I think he just said he fell in a hole.
This was a super deep day. At the time, I only had 2 sets of skis, the 104s and my old 115s, but I had broken them in DOA a few weeks earlier. So I'm out here on the 104s, and they're just slaying it. This snow was so deep. The weather was super variable, so the Insta360 wasn't kind of getting the job done on this day. I had some sort of issue. I can't remember what, so I'm running the GoPro. Didn't get as many clips as I would like, but it was so deep in the trees, and we had a blast. Next up, number 4. This was the final day I skied on Blackcomb. I believe Blackcomb closed on like April 14th. So this was the last legit powder day, I believe, on Blackcomb, and everything was skiing great. It always sucks when one of the sides closes early because the base is just so in the Alpine by April, and it's always a bummer that the mountain needs to focus on profits and cuts all of us off from the fun of skiing either side a little bit longer. Like at least to May would be awesome. I had to sneak into pencil shoot. I skied it like a bit of a goof here, and the snow was kind of catching me in the rocks to one side, but it's always fun to kind of get in there. Just light was a bit flat, so I was a bit hesitant. I find the camera tends to show flat light a little less than you feel it in your goggles. That's kind of a cool waterfall of snow behind me. Cool shot. We were just getting good turns all over the mountain today. In Spankies, stuff was just skiing beautifully, like just light snow for April 9th. Super fun. All these spots in the Alpine get quite wind packed. So sometimes it's not as deep, right, as the trees because the wind blows on the snow and packs it down. Kind of hits terminal capacity. Here we are. This kind of looks like Spankies too, and now we're dropping into teetering. I only skied this line once or twice last year because it took a while for it to fill in, and you can see all the sharks still in teetering. Still like a little sketch, but such a fun line, and this bottom part here just had blower pow, so I was excited to get up there at least for one solid lap in the season. And then we snuck into ladies first, which I hadn't been to either all year, and it was deep up there, but not deep enough to ski a line like Krakau's, just enough to kind of ski down ladies first. And there's a nice little drop at the bottom. I took it pretty small as per the norm for me. That's as big as I like to go because I ain't a sender, I'm just an enjoyer. And yeah, it was pretty slick. Really enjoyed that day, man. Could not get enough. Is this the same day? Like, I'm standing here watching this, trying to do voiceover and trying to see if this, I think this is still the same damn day. Imagine a day this good. I'm still going and skiing POW. Like, I think we're on like minute 4 of day number 5. Like, maybe we should have made this higher. God forbid this is the same day. Is this the same day? They just can't be the same day. It is the same day. Unbelievable. like I skied so much on this day. This is ridiculous, but all these clips are good. I'm having fun standing here watching them right now.
Sick.
Finishing off in CBC.
I-35 with the top down, quick to tell a hater they should.
And in number 3, we've got one of my favorite days of the season. 52 centimeters was forecasted overnight on a Friday, and Saturday had blue skies the next day. So this was just the perfect day in the making. Of course, the mountain was super busy, but we managed to get up there super early and had a run practically to ourselves with all the guys. It was just so memorable and so much fun, and the whole day was going off. We made a couple weird decisions, but wound up back in the Alpine, and it was just going off in the Alpine. It was sweet. I remember this snowboarder distinctly. He scared the crap out of me sitting behind a rock in Spankies, and I just about hit him. Super spooky, not really the best spot to just kind of sit and chill. Here I am, yeah, ripping through Spankies. Everything was just so light and dry, and nothing really beats a blue backdrop on a pow day. And this early in the season, the sun's really not hitting the snow early on in the day, so things are staying real cold. There's the Rob cam. I put cameras on all the boys' heads for the day. This was my favorite line of the day, just a cruiser kind of down the Horseman area there, and you can just see the cold smoke flying up. Like, this wasn't your average Whistler snow. It was cold, and it was super fun, and this was a day to remember. And we even got out in the backcountry the next day to rip DOA on this fresh snow as well. So just such a good weekend. Easy number 3 for me.
I-35 with the top down, quick to tell a hater they should get like me. Seem like everybody wanna be the boss, but it costs in these.
In number 2, we've got the day after the biggest storm of the season. So, well, the biggest storm of the season was going on. There was 100 centimeters overnight, and they didn't open the Alpine. But the day after the storming stopped, it was a blue sky, and everyone was geared up for the Alpine to open. And here are my pre-runs before kind of getting to the 7th chair, and man, they were flipping awesome. Now here I am coming down my first run down 7th, and this part's always kind of wind packed, but I'm getting pretty darn excited to get to the part where the trees start protecting the snow. And here I come, I'm just charging down, full level of stoke, and right here I almost kill myself in a little kind of wind pocket there. But this is what dreams are made of right here. A run like this, that's a season maker. Just cruising through, not a line in sight, and just beautiful snow, sun shining down, sparkling. And then I come out of this is my favorite shot of the season. I come out of this little hole here, and boom, just a canvas. Like, I was so stoked coming down here. I can't even play audio on these POW clips because I do so much yelling I couldn't even do voiceover over it. Here's a couple boarders just stuck watching me enjoy myself. Then we do the little kind of Rock City to Fluff Factory line, coming into Fluff Factory here, and holy smokes, obviously it's going to be good. Tons of sharks in here this year, but I didn't care. I was so buzzed after the Alpine being open, so stoked. Getting a little Featherstone action, couple of these trees. Once again, tons of sharks in here. These are all ridiculous decisions, but felt freaking great. I wasn't going to be stopped. This was the same day, so we head towards Spankies after this, and you might recall one of the guys skiing in my party had the biggest fall of all time. It's terrible to rewatch this, but I just wanted to let everyone know that he's fine and recovery has gone really well, and he's getting back to sports, so that's all good news. And the winner in number 1 is the 100 centimeter POW dump, the storm that saved the season. It's pretty special to get this much snow at once, and even though there wasn't a blue sky and even though the Alpine wasn't open, experiencing that depth of snow is always just ridiculous, especially when it's fully lift access and you just keep lapping it and lapping it. I'll remember this moment forever, honestly. It was insane.
No way! I can't even turn. I don't care. I don't even care about turning.